right, going live again. Didn't really spend too much time promoting this thing. I want to have a nice, safe environment. So, guys, I'm gonna kind of tone it down. I was doing like over an hour before, and I don't know if that's effective. So I'm going to kind of keep it a little shorter, around 30 to 40 minutes tonight, unless somehow it goes longer. So I'll give the first 5 minutes of just how you doing and all that stuff. Um, Hold on a second. There you go. Yo, yo, brother, I gotta type here and talk. So I am a talking monkey. So just be patient with my typing skills. I'm gonna put you up there. Thank you, brother, for showing. All right, so I'm gonna. How you been doing, man? We haven't been talking too much. I hope you're doing well. You're one of my New York people, so I got to give you a special shout out. I hope all's well. I really do. Things been going pretty good over here. So I'm going to spend 5 minutes just kind of jabbering on, see how you guys are doing, because that's really the big thing for me with this live stuff is reaching out to people that watch my show and kind of try to have a relationship with beyond me just bloviating. I do plenty of bloviating here, of course. Anyway, and if you guys put it out there, want to come on the show and do your thing and talk about it, that's would be really cool. Just contact me at Curtis at Ace per Head. I'd love to hear what you guys think, not too typing and such. So anyway, quick little run through some little bit of news before I get into the main parts. Jones tomorrow. The name of this thing was Terron nicked Texans up and life goes on. Nobody cares if the Dolphins get injured. Nobody cares. They're actually happy. So I'm going to get into that. All's good. I got heavy into hockey and hockey. I never could understand. I grew up on Long Island, man, and the Islanders were big in like the 80s, early 80s. I tried, man. Basketball, I used to like it, but now it's, I don't know. It's too many power teams. Fernando Hawkins. What do you think about Wynn going back to tackle just in case Terron is next and is not ready week 1? Yeah, I'm going to cover that, brother. The topics I'm going to go over start off with Noah and Jackson. And then because there was some film out, I want to cover that. And then I'm going to get into the second safety situation, which is it's a little, I thought it was going to be a lot better for us. And then I'm going to get into Terron's injury. And then I'm going to start talking about the offensive line. And then I'm going to, if I have time, I'm going to touch on Phillips. And then I'm going to get into White and Skyler. So I'll get into Wynn. But my initial gut take, I'll expand on, I'll do the German thing later when I kind of go on for a while. But I like Wynn better at tackle than I do guard. Hey, Lucas, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you as always. Remember, if you want to get on here, any of you guys, man, just email me. But anyway, Fernando, my take is if you've watched Wynn play 6'2", 305, maybe even not that. And what he has on the edge is a strength in some areas. Inside, it becomes a weakness. Outside, he gets a lot of smaller guys. He's able to use that 6'2" size to get leverage and get underneath guys. And he handles speed rushes pretty good on the edge. He does have the injury history. He does struggle with his run blocking. He does have a problem with power. But it is a legitimate, if you watch him, he did really good against Phillips in week 1 with New England last year as a tackle against Phillips. But he does have flaws. He's not obviously Terron. But to me, I think I would put him there. I would definitely put him there over Lamb. For me, I'll be one of the topics I'm going to talk about quick before I do my get into it, is Jones. I don't think Jones is getting a shot at left guard. I think they see him as a right guard, a backup. I think they're worried about his movement skills. But for me, the Curtis design would be kind of inside with his slight limitations in power, but his excellent hustle, physicality, agility, and speed and leadership, flanked by 2 big guys, Hunt and Jones. it might force you to a little bit more inside zone, might go against McDaniel's desires, but you would have that physicality to shield Connor and have that physical play inside on those short downs. And then you would have Wynn on the outside, and then you would have Jackson. You'd have to put Jackson on the outside, backed up by Lamb. But from everything we've heard, there was no news about Terron. I'll get into that later, but it looks like he's eyeing week 1. But that's going to be a big topic I'm going to get into. So I like Wynn. I think he's a good backup, short-term starter. Don't like him at guard, but I do like him at tackle, Fernando. So that's it. And then I'll get into a couple quick topics. I cannot believe, sometimes I'm like confused. I'm on a Twitter thing now, and I really don't care about soap operas. When I was young, I was forced to watch soap operas with my grandmother. She'd make me watch The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless. I had to say, sometimes I kind of liked it, but most of the time I hated it, and I hate drama and all this garbage. I cannot believe that Tua said he liked the movie Sound of Freedom, and it literally became a thing. Like, did he really say that? It is mind-boggling what people talk about. The guy liked the movie, and then it just became this thing, and it's so stupid. I'm not going to talk much more about it, but you should check out a good article by Armando Salguero on Outkick. Tua urges media at press conference to go see Sound of Freedom. I thought it was a good article, interesting. Just check it out and see what you think. But the main pre-point that I want to talk about is somebody who I respect a ton. I really like him. I like to meet him. I'm not going to say who he is, maybe if you know, but he said his take was that you don't sign a defensive player for $15 million more unless they make 20 impact plus plays per year. And he said he didn't think Wilkins fit that bill. And it blew me away. I'm still kind of surprised that the lack of respect and understanding of what Wilkins does for his defense. I'm going to go through it quick because I don't want to go on too long because I tend to do that. But last year he had 5 sacks, 7 bats, 55 stops and led the league, and 1 forced fumble. If you need 20 impact plays, 5 sacks, 7 bats, and 1 forced fumble, that's about 13. I'm sure through the course of those 55 stops, there were at least 7 impact plays. Those stops are so critical. When you get a stop, especially on first down, it throws the whole offense off, and that itself is an impact play. So I am very surprised that Wilkins doesn't get the love that he should get. So, all right, I'm going to move on now. I guess the time has passed. I'm going to open up with some film from Noah at camp. And then a little film from Jackson, not a camp, was at a preseason game or something. So, all right. So this is, let's see. Okay, a second. Omar didn't really watch the games last year because he was working at Lima Athletes, so he was remembering Wilkins from 2 years ago. Wilkins basically shut down the entire. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that. I respect the guy. He deserves the money. Totally does. Yeah, when his first 2 years, Wilkins was finding his way. He was a younger kind of guy. He still needed to mature physically, and he wasn't making those big impact plays. But last year was an epic season, and the year before was an epic season too in terms of his run, his stops, and his run defense. There was a bump up from 21 to 22, and 22 to me was epic. So I totally agree with you. So I really believe in redemption stories. I've been saying that a lot. And there's 2 guys out there. One saying is already set up for Noah to play wide, the boundary corner. And I've seen some good reports. I've some stuff I've liked, but I'm going to show you something here that does concern me. And I think it's just a trait. It can be mitigated in zone coverage, but in certain responsibilities in zone coverage, this could be a problem. Now, Noah is up playing man, which he's probably not going to do a ton of, but there are some similarities in zone, and I'll show you in a second. So he's up playing man on Nico Collins. Now, Nico Collins is 6'4", 215. He had a 37 and a half vertical. He had a 4'4", 240. And now Noah, my dog's behind me. He didn't want to leave today, so get used to that if you hear banging around. Judah, calm down. So now Noah is 5'11", 195. So this guy's got 20 pounds on him, 37-inch vertical. So that's your kind of like you're supposed to be your explosion. It's not always equating. But so it's very close to Nico. His broad jump, Nico's was 10.5. Noah's was 10.8. So these guys are supposed to be in the same area as far as athleticism. But watch here. You can see now Noah, I really don't like his technique to start. Look how far he's leaning here. That is a bad takeoff. When hit pause. When I was playing college, got a little bit after college, actually, I met a friend of mine. He was younger than me. He's a Jamaican. If you know any Jamaicans, he's straight from Jamaica. Running is like the thing. And this guy was the fastest guy I ever seen. He played corner for Rutgers, and his technique was impeccable. I mean, impeccable. And he just showed me so much stuff about how you make your drops. And this lean here just shows that I really don't like this. You can't really get yourself enough depth out of that. Looks out of control, looks off balance, but he's managed to shadow him anyway, which shows that, even Noah's got talent in those short areas. But watch once you get right here. Right here, they are side by side. And the bigger guy, he is a long strider, and that does help him in the distance run as far as it gets longer and longer. But watch what happens to Noah here. And it is really, really surprising. I saw him do it's gone. He's beat. And there is no explosion. There's no makeup speed. He was just liquefied here. And to me, that is concerning. And when you play, he's not going to be playing man like that naked with no safety behind him. But when you're in that cover 3 or you're cover 4 and you got over responsibilities and you're sitting there in your zone and the guy's running at you, you don't know if he's doing a comeback, a post, a in or whatever, a fly, you're waiting. You still got to do some of those same things, the turn and trail. And if he gets left behind like that, that could leave us open for some big plays over the top in zone coverage. And so we signed Mark Gilbert. I saw that video and was blown away. Yeah, but the other guy's not a superstar. I mean, he's got good speed. This guy's no chump as far as athleticism, but Noah was billed as a son of Olympic level athletes with high end physical traits. And that is just liquefaction. I think some of it was the depth of his drop. When he dropped, he was at an odd angle. He didn't get depth enough because he had the guy by the boundary. I am no cornerback. This is just what I was taught by a guy who was pretty good and played at a fairly high level. Maybe somebody smarter than me. There's some guys that come on, he actually played big time, can diagnose this for us and give us some real technique. But the bottom line is, when you're side by side like that, maybe he gets a little ahead of you, but that was liquefaction. Yeah, he can play too. He's got talent without a doubt, but you cannot get liquefied because there's much faster guys than that. I mean, there's much. And so if you're playing that, if you got to play that cover 3, cover 4, and your job is over the top, man, how can you have trust in that? And that really concerns me. So now another thing is a part of the push. It's so hard for us to understand what's really going on. We get these things. This was billed by an excellent block by Jackson in preseason game 1. And it was touted like, well, look what this guy did. This is one of the easiest blocks to make. And it was touted. I mean, he's getting doubled. He's getting pulled by the guard, and he's attacking his side and he's laying him into the ground. And that was billed as an excellent play. And to me, I still don't believe that he is a good run blocker. I got to see more, but you got to just really kind of spread yourself out with this coverage, because A lot of people is using that, saying, "Oh, look at that, look at that." But that is I mean, a lot of guys, tight ends could even make that block. When you got a guy who's flowing to the right and he's engaged, and you come from his side, and the other guy's grabbing him by the jersey, and you take him down, that should not even. That's like almost a scam to be touted as being that good. So I want to put those two out there. I do believe that Jackson can be a guy for us and man that right tackle spot. But I don't think it's as hot to trot as some people are saying, but that's my evaluation. And that's the problem. We have a stew of evaluations. We got to wait to see. But tomorrow is going to be a big time for us. I really would love to have seen Terron with the whole thing. I think it's going to add fog of war with him not being in there. But anyway, let's move on to the safeties. The safety thing. There's another part with the Jackson thing I was mentioning. I forgot to put up there. I got my number over here. He wasn't a participant late in the session that Terron went down. I don't know why. Had anybody heard why he wasn't in there? Let's see. Noah and Austin are both athletic. I don't understand why this. I mean, I don't either. I don't know. Hey, Garrett, man. Sorry. I'm trying to juggle all this, man. Garrett, what's up, brother? Yeah, he turned on the Jets, but there's a lot faster guys than that. And then, like I said, when you add in the double move problems with Noah, if that guy breaks down like this and then Noah stops and then he's coming out for that fly to stop and go, I'm really concerned, man. That I was having a buildup of confidence in Noah, but that really left me concerned. So we got a safety issue. We've got a star. I think Holland's going to have his best season. He's been getting rave reviews. He's been doing excellent. But you for Fangio, you need that mirror safety. You can't tell by personnel where your weaknesses are, because then that limits what Fangio can do. Holland can do it all, but who's playing next to him? And I thought it was going to be a little bit easier find than what we've got. And put a little thing here. Hold on a second. Wait. Okay, yeah. Travis Wingfield. There's a theme when you've got X, Holland, and Elliott together. The coverage rotates in unison. There's no confusion in passing off. The deep stuff is almost always capped. After most reps, you can see giving each other nonverbal forms of affirmation, head nods and finger pointings and such. And I think that is great. This is good. And I think this is where Elliott fits in. He's going to gel. He's a vet. When you get, say, like X playing deep on a cover three with, say, Holland and Elliott, you know that from the mental standpoint, they're going to be there. But what I keep hearing over and over, the problem is with Elliott is range. And so you got to remember, these offensive coordinators, these quarterbacks, these receivers, they're looking at the profiles of the guys. Hold on a second. Hey, Lucas, no chance Noah's getting cut with the Ramsey injury. I thought it was a slim chance he was getting cut even before we got injured. Greer won't admit his draft failure. I don't think he can at this stage because Apple's not playing. He's playing like a rotten apple. And but the fact that we brought in, who did we bring in? What's the guy's name again? Mark Gilbert. He had 24 reps with Atlanta. That doesn't scream confidence. Cam Smith has some flaws that I saw in his game as far as his recovery and ability to play that man, playing tight coverage on breaks. I'm not saying it's there, but I saw him get beat on routes that broke off. And so I got to see more from him. But there is this concern a little bit now. Kohu, I think, is going to be a stud. Needham hasn't really come back. He's, we're still waiting on that. X is looking phenomenal. There was a video out I was trying to put up here and find of X actually running the route for the receiver. It was so good. I think X is going to be playing like the X we know, and that's going to help us a lot. But this safety situation, Elliott will help you. But these OCs, they're going to know that Elliott lacks range, and they're going to run routes to kind of pry open this deep coverage and put space there. And that's going to be a problem. Hold on a second. Sorry, because I don't want to sidetrack you. I just wanted to give you my 2 cents to what he said. Nah, dude, that's all right. This is a forum, and I appreciate it. I want you guys to comment. I really do. I think that's what this is about. Communication, you guys putting your information. I learned so much from your comments and talking to you guys. So I throw it in there, brother. You're not throwing me off the track. I go off the track anyway, so don't worry about it. So when you got one guy who's got great range, he got the whole kit and caboodle, and then you got another guy, he's cerebral, but he doesn't have the range. Their route combinations you can do to kind of pry that open so you create a gap, and then you can take advantage of that. And that is my concern for Elliott. Not a huge concern, but it is a fair concern if this range issue is a problem. Now, Trill Williams, a lot of people are high on Trill. I don't know. From what I'm hearing, it looks like practice squad from moving from corner to safety. Brandon Jones, he came back and he's managing something, so he hasn't got his reps. And I don't feel concerned. I don't feel secure with him playing a cover 3 over the top. His range is very limited. I think Elliott's probably got a better range than him. And then Kedron Smith is very, very, very intriguing. He's 6'2", and he had a deflection last game, was rated very high in his coverage. But from what I've heard from some guys is that he's a practice squad guy, that he won't be the starter. But for me, it is a little bit concerning. You're going to need somebody in there to do that near safety. And originally I thought Cam Smith was going to be able to play that. But this shoulder injury is going to be a problem, because when you got near safeties, one of those guys sometimes comes up and the other guy stays back, and they mix and match. And so putting that shoulder in there, he came in for one play. They ran the ball at him in practice, and he just backed up like this, and then they took him out right after that. So that says to me that shoulder is not some like nothing thing. It has some magnitude. What magnitude? I don't know. Garrett, don't you think Fangio's defensive scheme is going to help protect some players to a certain extent? Oh, of course. Oh, yeah, 100%. But you remember that he's going to be going against guys that are excellent OCs. I mean, there's some guys on our schedule that are excellent OCs. So when you got two good chess players, it comes down to the pieces. Like, I could be the best chess player in the world, but if you got 17 queens, I'm going to go down, baby. And so I'm not saying that's the situation, but when you got weaknesses, these great OCs with talent and talented quarterbacks are going to be able to take advantage of that. And a play or two could make all the difference. Where if you had a true mirror safety who had maybe a little more range, maybe a little bit less awareness, and it wasn't so clear in the weakness, then maybe you might be better off. But I got to see the range thing on film to really say it's true. That right now, this is hearsay. They've been saying a lot of good stuff about Kedron Smith. Maybe he can develop. Yeah, maybe he can. Maybe he can, but are you going to, I wanted to get into something. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get into it. I'm already late over here, man. Aren't I? Ugh, I got a big mouth. Our front defense has to bring pressure. Yeah. It does. I mean, that's going to be essential. But really, the pressure is the second. The coverage creates the delay that allows the 4-man rush, which is mostly 4-man rush, to have that extra time to get to the quarterback. So this is a pass-first defense. Now, it's going to be aided by the fact that we got Chubb and Sealer and Wilkins and Phillips, but that secondary has got to create that delay for the rush to get there. It's the coverage sacks where it really comes from, because you're playing zone. And so it's very easy to beat zone if things aren't working out right. That's why, sometimes they'll flip to man. So you need good coverage. You need to mask it, and the right personnel helps you mask it. So it is a two-way street, but I would say the coverage comes first. And I think that's why they brought Ramsey in with X, with Kohu, and then they drafted Cam, because this is a pass-first defense. So anyway, that's the thing. We got to wait to see how this plays out. Maybe Smith does it. Maybe Elliott doesn't have the range problem. This is just guys saying their evaluations. Maybe Fangio can mitigate it. We will see. Maybe, a lot of things can happen. I think tomorrow will be interesting to see how that plays out. Now, that was 2. Got Noah. All right, now we got to get to my man, Terron. I can say my man, Terron, now because he is not out for the season. I was devastated. Yeah, I know. Oh, pride. You talk special teams. I know, man, but I am schmuck when it comes to special teams. I am such a football snob. I was a football. I would watch, even when I played, I would watch every single coach, every single thing, except for special teams. I hated fielding punts. I was terrified of it, and that might be the reason. I don't pay attention to special teams. I'm told they're not good, and that is big. But maybe come on the show and tell us about it, brother, because I'm not the man to tell you what is and what's not with that. But it is critical. It's so critical. That's why all the top teams, they have really good special teams. Flores was like super. He was high on the special teams. So if they suck, it's going to hurt us. It can make the difference. But I'm like I said, I'm a special teams, So anyway, so Terron, I thought it was big time problems. And I put podcasts out quick and I put up the message. He said he was okay, man. And then it started coming out. Well, I'm okay, he says. And then everyone's like, it's no big deal. And it might not be. And this is not to say Terron is lying. He's not. Terron, you could hit him in the head with a pickaxe and have that back of the thing coming out the back of his head. And he'll show up and line up and give you a bunch of good snaps. This guy is super, super tough. And I think if he had to, he would play this week. But there are some realities that I want to get into. And it was great. I don't like Tyreek Hill off the field. I really don't. But I believe that people, change. They make mistakes. I've made more than most. I love him on the field. But he was so cool the way he came out and said, it all starts up front. He knows. Everybody knows Terron's the man. It's so amazing that a lot of beat writers and a lot of people, it took them a year to get to Terron to be the man. Everybody knows Terron's the man. Terron is the man. But we have to understand the man is 32, coming off knee surgery. He had 3 injuries last year: torn pec, bad hip, bad toe, knee problem probably going along with it. This guy is an animal. And you go look at him. He was playing excellent. It degraded because you have to understand, I played on some bad knees. My knee started swelling up at one point, and you can massage that stuff out. You can get on there. You can make it happen, but it just gets a little bit tougher as you go. All these things, it starts becoming a deleterious effect on your talent. And Terron's strength of will, his ability to tolerate pain, keeps it from dropping dramatically like some of these guys. But he came off knee surgery. He hasn't had many reps, and he goes and he gets hit, and he goes and sits down, and he got to get the wagon to take him away. And you watch him, and he's limping. He's hurt. If Terron is limping, he's hurt. Now, it wasn't probably a torn this or that, but when you get hit, there's minor tears, and then you get swelling, you get pain. And so where do you start him? He needs his hits. He needs his reps to get ready. And if you rush him in, this little thing can start ballooning and become a problem. And you don't want that. And so a lot of people are like, he's eyeing week 1. He's going to be back. Yeah, Terron would be eyeing this week if he needed to. But week 1, you're going to have Bosa. You're going to have Mac. And so you got this. He's not playing in the preseason game, which he might not have anyway. Maybe he misses this week or a couple of practices. He's not going to be at the preseason game. Then you have the time off between the end of camp and then the start of like Tuesday when they start getting prepared for Sunday, week 1. Is he getting his reps? Is he getting himself ready for the long haul? And so I don't know. I think Terron is definitely on. Even last year, he would say, I'm giving everything I got to play. And sometimes he was there and then sometimes he wasn't. So I don't know if he's going to be here or not week one. To me, I don't think he needs to be here week one. I think this is going to be a tough game. I think you might want him there to protect Tua, but I'm a little concerned about rushing him. And to me, week 2 is a must win. The first 4 games, you got Chargers away, New England. Easy, kid. You got to wait. New England away, Denver home, and then Bills away. You got to come out 2-2. And New England is key. It's a division one. You could take the one away. That is a massive win to push them out of the way. And then home, you got to beat Denver. So I don't know if Terron makes it back week 1. I hope he does, and as long as he's okay. But I want to show a little thing here. This is from Salah. And you guys can have a Hall of Fame quarterback. You can have 2 $10 million plus receivers. You can have the reigning offensive rookie of the year. You can have all kinds of skill in the running back room, but none of it matters until the big boys up front change who the we are, Salah said. We as coaches, we as an organization can't want it more than you do. And that is really, to me, the deal. It's about the offensive line. It's about up front. And, got to keep Terron in. If Terron is out extended period of time, it's going to be a problem. All right, hold on a second. Mafia Sports Report. I just messing with you, buddy. I didn't even see you here. What'd you say, man? Can't hear you, buddy. You see? I didn't pay attention, you bum. Good seeing you, Tommy. I love you, man. I really do. Let me get some comments here quick. All what you said about Terron, and yet Greer laughs about the fans being, I'm sorry. Greer might end up being a genius, but if this fails because of the offensive line, that's going to be his epitaph. I'm going to play that until the end of time. I will play it with Dunt's hat on if we do well with this offensive line, and he can laugh at me all he wants, but I am, hey, a big guy. Alf, man, thank you for gracing us. This is Alf from 3 yards per carry, or a wonderful guy and a real true professional, not a monkey like me. The mission for 7 months has been to beat the Chargers week 1. 2 is 4-0 versus the Patriots. We can lean on that. Well, that's Alf's take, and he's the pro. I think, though, my retort would be the Chargers game can't compromise Terron to come in early. If it doesn't, okay. I understand your point. The Chargers are critical. They're going to be in a competition for us for the playoff game. We lost last year. I think, and this is my evaluation, that New England is going to be much tougher than we've seen them before. They've actually got an OC now. They've got a full defense complement. So that's my take. Alf, I don't want to get the big guy angry, but I have to say I agree, but that is my retort. Face, fucha, tongue out. I don't know what that means. I'm not that smart. Chargers. But anyway, thanks, brother. California. Chargers, Pats, Broncos are must-win games. I'm hoping. I know I went through the list. I don't think Chargers are a must-win. I think it'd be a great win for us, but I think it's going to be very tough. You're going to be on the road, and I don't think that in a prime, I don't know. I don't think it is a must-win. I think a must-win is our division. We have to take care of our division. We have to master that. And to me, I think the must-wins and our home games. So because it's not a home game, I say it's not a must-win, but I'm a talking monkey, so I could be wrong. Let's see. Charge. Oh, yeah, got that one, Fernando. Couldn't stand that comment. I'm not sure what comp that is. Sorry, guys. I'm running slow over here. All right. So the first 4 games we went over. Injuries to Terron, absolutely critical. That knee, we got to understand. He's 32 years old. It's a bad knee. it's going to be up to the staff to monitor it and manage it, and Terron to handle it, which I think he will. So that's the third big topic. I guess I'm running a little late here, so I'll get into the last topic for tonight, and that would be Phillips. The Dolphins will have more fans at SoFi than Chargers will. Maybe, I don't know, man. I'm not privy to that information. I'm not privy, but that would be great. That'd be great. I think, see, for me, another reason, my own personal take, why I don't think it's a must win, because the Chargers coach, I forget the guy's name, he is in a must win. If this guy does not come through, he's canned goods. And so this is really a must win for them. If they come out and they open up and lose to the Dolphins at home, it could start a cascading effect. And the Chargers, the biggest knock on the Chargers has been injuries, and they're coming in fresh. So these are the two reasons. Again, Alf, you're smarter than me, more knowledgeable, experienced. I'll defer to you because you're the big guy. But on this one, that's my 2 points. I still don't think Big E guarantees it. I hope he's right. I hope I'm wrong. So last part is Phillips. I did a film study on him. I really enjoyed it. I knew I liked where he was going. Didn't know much about his background. The guy's an unbelievable guy. And I think he's going to have a stupendous special season. And the pass rush has been there. But for me, marking his flaws and failings have always been in the run game. He was pulled out at the tail end of his rookie season, saw a lot less action. He made a comment that he needed to be more reliable in the run game. I marked that as a key. And when I saw him grow through that and really improve that in a lot of ways, he got a lot of nice stops, was able to start handling tight ends more, and occasionally some linemen. Everything started flourishing. But when you see, and now Alf is one of the real guys who's actually at these practices, but from all the reports, and maybe Alf can confirm or deny, his run stopping has been one of the highlights that keep popping up. And to me, if he just takes his run stopping ability this much more to go with everything this kid has, we could have one of the most special seasons since Cam Wake. And when you have a Fangio style defense and you got 4 guys rushing and you can get supreme talent in those 4 guys, it might be able to take some of the pressure off with the loss of Ramsey, maybe not having the mirror safeties, maybe some of you guys learning and the whole team learning that secondary. I think Phillips is a massive, massive piece. And to me, the barometer is going to be his run stopping ability. Even last year in the red zone, he was pulled out a lot. If we see him in the red zone and being effective in that run game, I'm looking for something special from this kid this year, and I hope so. I mean, Terron's my man because he's an old broken out dog like me. But Phillips, this kid is a good kid. A really good kid, a great kid, and a smart kid. I am pulling from like nobody's business. Alf. Been good on the edge, and his pursuit especially. Yeah, man. I remember that play against the Steelers when he went from one side of the field, the other, and made a tackle. It's unbelievable. It was like a shot out of a cannon. Even against A-Chain, he's never been overwhelmed. That's great news. I haven't pulled for anybody like I've pulled for Phillips. That is great news. Thank you. Thank you from a bird's eye view or worm's eye view. California, face orange, biting nails. Was that a good one? I don't know if I understand that one. Let's see. I love Phillips' hustle, sideline to sideline, trying to chase down RBs down, and I think he's still growing. Me too. I don't think he's reached his peak. I think in this year and next year, I think that's where he's going to get most of his final topping, and then there'll be like, the veteran cues that he picks up later on. But this kid is still a pup in many, many ways. And that's unbelievable. I still find, like with Wilkins, people are kind of underestimating him. I don't know why. I think it's the sack total. I think the sack total is where people just vest all their who Phillips is and who he isn't. But when you go back and watch that tape, and I thought it was good tape when I did the whole season survey, And I was just blown away. I think this kid is truly, truly going to be special. All right. So I'll get into the quarterbacks another time. I want to keep this lean and mean. Do you guys got anything you want to bring up? Any kind of disagreements? I appreciate this. Tell me, hey, you're a dumb monkey. You're wrong on that one. I mean, say it a little bit kinder, but I really want to create a forum here because that community of information is how we get better in evaluations. Let's see. What's up, El Hadi? Hey, bro, what's going on? I've never seen you here before, have I? I am just hoping for Finns to stay. Oh, yeah, man. That's like the wild card, man. That's like the madcap moment. We don't know. We can't bank on it. To me, if we could just stay healthy, that alone would give us huge odds advantage. Every year we get gutted by injuries. Oh, you're always here, brother? Oh, sorry, man. My memory ain't so hot then. Thanks for stopping by again. I appreciate that. I'll remember you next time, though. Yeah, injuries are the key. I mean, think of last year. Terron goes down, Tua goes down, no Byron, on and on it goes. Really interesting your take on the back of the DL room. Hand will make it. Does Tywin, he is lucky for sacks, but had a bad body type. Fangio doesn't like one-dimensional 3 techniques. Now, Hand is a smaller guy. See, for me, Raekwon, I thought Raekwon Davis was going to be a superstar in 2020. Yeah, I know. He's classing up the joint with the monkey over here, making me feel like I'm something almost legit. Yeah, big time. So I think he plays a massive part. The 1.5 gap is going to be huge for him. Hammer time. I always think of MC Hammer when I see your name. Now, the back end, I don't really know. So I got a couple here. I'm going to get Alf's thing up here. I don't know Tywin's game too much. He's a roll of the dice. You got to see. I got to watch some more film of him. Hand, though, he is who he is. He's a little bit small, 297, 6'3", 297. And I like him, when he's coming in that 3 technique. But for me, Peely got injured. That 0 and 1 technique, who is going to fill that gap? I mean, I think Hand's okay. I mean, he's not bad backup. I love Jenkins because he fit that role. He could play the 2. He could play the 3 even sometimes. But it was that manning of the 0 and 1. I don't want Wilkins there. I don't want Sealer there. I saw Fangio say Sealer, and he just stretches himself out, fights too hard. I don't like him there. I really was hoping for Peely, but Peely looks a little weak, like his agility, like his fighting, but I'm not sure he's going to make it because he does get blown up. Hand is strong. He's able to anchor himself. He plays a little above that 297 from what I've seen. I haven't really studied him. So to me, that is a bit of a problem because Davis is tall, almost 6'7", and if that knee gets hit and he starts having that problem again, and then we start having problems on that 0, 1, and 2, I'm going to be concerned. And that's why Peely was a big deal, and we can't get it. I don't know if there's going to be another guy out there like Jenkins, and Hand to me is a little bit small. Unless you're a superstar, you can't line up on that, over that center, in that 1 gap, and play, be 297 and be consistent. And so I'll go back. I'm going to come back and I'll email you what I personally think after I watch more tape of them. But it's really hard because I've never seen Tywin play in a live game. Hand, I really haven't either, except for what I've seen from the last preseason game. But he was going against, 2nd-tier guys and 3rd-tier guys, and that's totally different. So great question. I will get back to you in email and after I watch some tape. What's your take? What do you think? Because I know that you're on top of it. What's your take? So to give me some wisdom. Hans, let me read some here. I could be wrong, but there's a lot of reports from limiting things I've seen. We haven't done much motion as we did last year. I think that would be good. I think we had too much motion. You can only do as much motion as you can without getting buckets of penalties. And so I think that part of McDaniel's maturation has to be understanding well, I got a plan, but what can my guys handle? And Hill was having problems. Now he says he understands the system better. We haven't seen the starting crew in. So let's see how it plays out. Maybe we'll have as much, maybe we'll have as more. But I think we need to pull it back to keep these penalties from getting out of control. Alf, you got me really thinking about that question, man. I'm going to go watch some tape. I am disappointed that Jones is not getting true shot at left guard. Please pay close attention. Jones, Cotton wins Saturday. Awful burglary, all pro. It's like, yeah. I think Jones is really good in inside zone, but I think McDaniel is just concerned of his ability to get in motion. And I think we're running heavy zone stretch. I think it's going to be more zone stretch than we saw last year from what I'm kind of getting a feel for. I could be wrong because I'm not watching the practices. For me, Curtis, but I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy. I still believe that you got Terron, you can have Jackson, you got Jones, you got Connor, and then you got Hunt, and you run a little more inside zone, and you have a much more stout and physical defense. Part of the thing that concerns me is Wynn, Cotton, Eichenberg, they all get driven back because they don't have the power. And once you get that interior, like two technique guys coming and blowing them up, or when that's bad. There was one play we just saw, who it was. I think it was Robert Jones got beat on a double move, and then the guy who was supposed to be there to be the quarterback had the guy at his knees. That interior wall's got to be locked. You can mitigate on the edges. You can kind of get chips and things like that. But if you're failing through power inside, I don't like that. But I'm a nobody. Who says Jones isn't good? I haven't really seen him get any much snaps at left guard. I'm not there though. Most of what I've seen is right guard snaps. He got right guard snaps in the preseason game that I do recall. Could be wrong. My brain's a little fuzzy. Been hitting the head a lot. But I haven't really seen him play left guard. That's been kind of relegated to Wynn, Eichenberg, and Cotton from what I recall. Let's see. I'm sorry. Hammer, sorry, what do you think about Keon? We talked about it. Some guys were saying they were from the reports, they liked him. I liked what I saw in the preseason game. 6'2", he flashed, he got forced an incompletion. He had some good coverage, but against a lower tier guys, I mean, I have to go back. I don't know what the calls are. I don't know what his responsibilities are. I'm just kind of watching something. But from the big guys like Alf and Omar and Poupart and all these guys, they said they like him, but they expect him to go to the practice squad. But right now, he's playing really well. Elliott struggled a couple times in the preseason game, and that kind of bothered me a little bit. Oh yeah, I said he wasn't getting a fair shot because I didn't see him. I didn't really see him at left guard. And I haven't heard him at left guard in any reports, but he might be, but I'm just not hearing that. Oh, here's Alf. My take is that the interior D room is Sela, Wilkins, Davis, Agba, Hand, free agent, zero tech, maybe Twyman on the practice squad. You don't think Peely's going to make it? I mean, they paid him a lot of money. I think how does it work? I can't remember. If they pay him a lot of money, they got to cut him to put him on a practice squad. So they would lose the guaranteed money. I think it's like $100K, but that's not a lot. Yeah, I definitely think Hand's going to make it. Maybe you can find a zero tech. I think that's a good point. I think it's a really good point. Curtis is wrong. What am I wrong about? Wynn is beating him out. Yeah, he's probably going to. But should he? Last year, Eichenberg came in when he was injured and he sucked. And they said it was a big conversation, like who to start. Jones was way better. The whole season, but Eichenberg started. I mean, starting doesn't necessarily mean that's the right move. I'm not saying I'm right, but is starting the right move? Because we've had Eichenberg and Jackson. We had Jackson at guard one year. None of that worked. We had Davis at right tackle with a bad leg. I mean, so starting, I'm wrong. I am wrong. I get it wrong. Don't get me wrong. But, anyway, Jones has been getting a lot of opportunities to win a job or at least earn a back row. I think it's right guard, though, but I might be wrong. If we don't make the playoffs, do you think McDaniel's job might be in charge? It shouldn't be. To me, this is my take. You know, you bring a run coordinator in, a guy who's green. He's been in the booth. He's never made calls. You bring him in, and then you make him, well, you don't make him, but he ends up being the head coach and then calling plays. And then you don't give him the ability to truly run the football or an offensive line. Offensive line makes everybody's job easier, especially the OC. And so for me, when you go back and you watch Grier, he's been in charge for a long time, but you can clearly say from 2016 on, he's been in charge. And his development of the O-line has been very particular and very consistent, aside from going out and spending big on Connor and Terron. And it's that failing of offensive line that has been a consistency, and even prior to 2016. And you know, Grier, he might end up being a brilliant guy. He might end up getting us where we got to go. But he pulled everything. You got to wait. I'm almost done. Dog thinks he's my master. But you got McDaniel here, and sit. I might have to go. He's telling me I got to go. But you got McDaniel here, and you've compromised him at the most critical aspect. What was the worst unit last year? Well, you could say the secondary. I would say the offensive line. When you look at our blockers per pass, it was worse in the league by far from all the analytics that I've personally created. I'm going to get out there. And so he's, sacrificed picks to trade up. He's spent multiple picks to get certain guys. Ross helped by losing some picks, and he's spent big on certain free agents, and he grabbed guys very specifically. This is his year. To me, I think Flores could have been successful. I think that McDaniel could be successful. How successful? Successful enough? I don't know. But to me, it's got to start with Chris Grier. He's got to be the guy to bear culpability. And if it goes to McDaniel, I think that's wrong, but that's my take. Where are we at? Sorry, guys. Second Bills game, didn't Dolphins probably run inside zone? Yeah. And he did well. But I'm talking about this year. This year, he's not getting the opportunities in camp, Fernando. You are correct. You're absolutely correct. Oh, man. Let's see, hold on a second. Jones pissed me off last game. Instead of looking to see if Cotton needed help, he went straight to help Alamauva and left Cotton out to dry. I don't remember that. I got to check. He got good grades, and I didn't really see that. But I'm going to go back and check. Let's see. Hush. Most likely we'll only miss the playoffs due to injuries, and you can't blame that on McDaniel. His job isn't in trouble. I mean, it's hard to say. Remember, it flows downhill, and it's Ross is in charge, then Grier. I don't know. I don't think they're going to fire him. I think they're going to keep everybody together. Shh, you hush up. I think they keep everybody together till 25 at the very least. No. If McDaniel, my dog, I knew I shouldn't have kept you in here. Hulk smash. Yeah, I want to smash. Come here. Say hi to. Okay. I got a 90-pound pit bull over here who's getting to be a funny guy. I think Peely's injured now, and I'm not a fan. There is an all-star murderers row of zero techs available in FA. Linville Joseph, Akeem Hicks, big fat guys. Hatred Kip. That's a good one, dude. That's a good one. Yeah, I like Peely's agility. I like his hustle, but he's a little doughy for me. I think he's a guy you put back in the oven to kind of bake for a little bit. So I kind of agree with you, but they invested. They really believe in him. So I think he's going to make the practice squad. Alf, didn't both those guys play for Fangio? I believe they did. Yeah, Hicks would be a guy we could come in. Oh, you guys can read your own things. I don't need to put it up over you. I am such a tech retard. I am such a tech retard. Sorry, guys. You better take your dog out and go before. Yeah, I know, right? And that's what he'll do to me. That's what he'll do. He wants to play with his ball. I didn't get to play with the ball enough today. All right. So, guys, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Really, I feel proud for you guys to do that. I can't believe anybody even pays attention to me. So, you guys stopping by, expending your life, especially the big guy, Alf. who I screwed up the name of his show trying to apologize one day. What a yutz I am. But guys, I appreciate everything you guys do. I'll catch up with you next Friday. And remember, any of you guys want to come on and, say what you got to say. I'm not here to be, the smartest guy in the tent. So you guys are the best. My dog is not. Yeah, I'll let you see my dog. Tell him, Judah. What? All right, guys, be well, everybody.